So you've heard of Google Map Pack, and you want to rank higher in the Google Map Pack or the top 3 when it comes to your business. Well, we're going to look at why is it that competitors seem to suddenly get a boost above you? Why is it so hard to get into that top 3? And there's 2 processes, 2 ways to get there. There's a long term and a short term. We're going to look at both of those, and I'm going to introduce you to someone that will really help you if you want a real boost very quickly into the Map Pack. So welcome to my video. So my name's Zane from Zanet Design, and I help businesses try and get traction and try and get progress by ranking into Google and particularly in the Map Pack in this video. But there are several ways to do that, and we're going to look at the fact that there's 2 approaches. Now I'm going to use the well-known story of the tortoise and the hare. Now sadly you may feel that I'm the tortoise, but I'm also going to point out where you can go to for the hare. The tortoise, of course, he starts off methodically, goes for the long-term process of just making slight progress each day. Now, one of the reasons why I'd recommend the slow process, the tortoise process, is because, in effect, there's very little chance then of you being suspended. And also, you'll gain gradual traction over time. And that will give you a long-term benefit. So that's my process. That's pretty much the way in which I deal with my customers when it comes to Google My Business and SEO. But you'll notice that some of your competitors will suddenly jump ahead. You may notice that suddenly, for no reason, there's nothing at all to support why someone seems to be above you when it comes to the Google Map Pack. Well, that could well be down to the fact there are some other things you can do when it comes to Google My Business. And I'm going to introduce you now to Chris, who will show you why his techniques are different and whether that's something you may want to consider. Certainly, it does run some danger though. So I'm going to hand over now to Chris to see what he has to say.
Zane, I want to thank you for allowing me to come on your channel and give me the opportunity to share my channel with your audience. I absolutely love what you do on your channel. I think that you are a by-the-book kind of guy. I think that the tactics and methods and techniques that you are teaching are for longevity. Now, with that being said, if your audience, or yourself, of course, are interested in learning maybe other techniques, strategies, tips that are around local SEO that may be a little bit more unconventional, whether that is CTR, traffic, any types of tips and tactics that are not general guideline types of techniques, that's exactly the kinds of things that I cover. So if yourself or your audience is, maybe curious of why a competitor is ranking above you, if you're interested in learning ways to improve your SEO, or at least take a look at what others are doing to give you a better understanding of what is working, my channel might be for you. So my name is Chris Palmer. I want you to take a look here at my channel. I cover a wide array of topics, whether it's local SEO strategies, link building secrets where I run tests, SEO tests. I give ways to get powerful backlinks. I do a lot of local SEO. I do black hat. I do gray hat. I do white hat. I give away secrets. I do everything from start till finish. I've been in the industry for going on 11 years. I learned this craft from my father in Florida. He used to own a gym, and this is where I learned a lot of the beginning stages and what really introduced me to the industry. So I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come on the channel. If anybody would love to have a look and see what I have to offer, this is where you would be landed to. My name is Chris Palmer. I'm Chris Palmer SEO. Zane, I appreciate you letting me come on. Hope that we can collaborate in the future. Have a wonderful day.
So if you want to head over to Chris's channel, I'll put the link down below. But on the other hand, if you want to just think about, well, what is rather than the hare, going for it, maybe a real boost in your rankings, what is the tortoise technique? What are some of the things you can do? Well, you could do this. Post regularly each day, each week. And when you post, what does Google say regarding a post? Well, notice here, Google says you need an attractive image to illustrate your message. On your next post, also a conversational tone. This is your chance to talk directly to your customers. And also make sure you have a call to action button prompting customers to act immediately. So if you created several posts each week and you use those techniques, that will just get you some gradual traction with Google. So next time you put a post together, you could try that technique, but at the same time, add new photos each week, geotag the photos. What other things though is Google looking for? Well, things like having a secure server is really important. HTTPS is really an important factor now when it comes to your SEO. Other areas could be to do with how it's viewed on a mobile when it comes to your website. And of course, your website has an authority that links through to your Google My Business listing. Add to that also, have you had some genuine reviews? And in those reviews, do they use well-used keywords? Because those in themselves will help boost your ranking. Also, have you considered adding video to your Google My Business? How user-friendly is your business when it comes to answering people's questions? Have you got questions from customers that you've yet to answer? Well, answer them. Use keywords, use good photos, and help boost again your rankings in a very slow, tortoise-like way. Another thing to consider is, have you looked at the other factors that give your Google My Business a boost when it comes to, say, Yelp, Yelp, Facebook reviews? They all also have just a small amount of boost benefits to your Google My Business. So bear in mind as well that it's not just about the rankings of and the reviews on Google My Business. So think about the indexes that have your website on and your business on. They need to also speak well about your business. So you'll find that Google does allow a certain amount of juice or benefit or marks out of 10 from your indexes and your listings elsewhere for the business. So that's something also to consider. Have you also considered making sure you've got the right category? The categories do get updated from time to time. So you may have had the best category description for your business when you first applied, but it could be now that the categories of your competitors are now different. So when you look again to see where you come, notice which category you're particularly being found under. And maybe just choosing one or two categories is an improvement than having several. So just refine down the categories to the most accurate category to be found under for your business. And one of the final things as well is PageSpeed. So it's interesting, but Google looks at the business, Google My Business listing, but it also knows your page speed of your website. So you might want to just make sure that your website is up together, that the page speed is good. We mentioned earlier, making sure it's secure using HTTPS. All those things are factors that Google has about your brand, about your business, and it puts all these things together like a jigsaw puzzle, knows exactly where you're heading. So we go back to the story of the tortoise and the hare. You may know the story quite well. The hare can shoot off. It can get as fast as it wants to, but ultimately it only has a short period of boost or benefit. Whereas if you go with a methodical tortoise, over time, the tortoise will get the traction. So my approach, unlike Chris's, is I go for the slow approach, methodical approach, and it probably will have the longest benefits long term. But if you want to boost now, if you want to try something a bit different, if you want to be a bit edgy, well then Chris is probably the person to look to as well. And some of the things he says actually are excellent, and there's no issues at all with them. But you do run, if you followed everything, of course, some of them will be factors that could, particularly if Google changes, it could end with a site that goes down or perhaps a suspension. So I just thought it was good to look at the contrast. And the idea of that is it explains why it is that some of the listings, some of the rankings in Google Maps may be higher than you expect, but you never quite know what other techniques they're using to get that boost. Of course, the idea and the thinking behind it is if you're in the top 3, you get a lot more inquiries, a lot more traffic. And of course, the more traffic and inquiries you get, the more likely it is that you'll stay in the top 3. So sometimes a little boost, a little bit of dynamite can be actually a good thing. So hopefully that gives you an understanding as to why it is that often you find that people have got rankings that you can't understand how they've managed to get ahead. Why was it so quick as well? Or maybe Chris is working behind the scenes for them too. But if you want to know how to rank in the right way, and you just perhaps have a few skills, you're going to enjoy this video now that's going to help you continue to build with what you already know.